Good morning. So I know I've been a little MIA on this channel. I apologize for that. It's been a busy summer. I try to update on my Instagram just because that's where it's easy for me to pop in and sort of just check in and touch base. It looks like everybody's going back to school this year. So if that is the case and that does work out, I think, I can hopefully get back into some sort of schedule where I'm posting consistently. I have a lot of ideas in my head, a lot of things I want to do. Just around the house, like there's just always something. I'm definitely very inspired. So the inspiration is not gone. It's just the timing. And also my brother and sister-in-law, which I shared this on my Instagram as well, where I usually update, daily. They bought the property right across the way here. So I was really good friends with my neighbor, Jamie. I used to ride horses with her all the time. And I knew for a while that they were gonna move. Sort of let my brother know because I knew they wanted to move, and it worked out that they ended up buying the property right across the way. So they have 2.5 acres just like us and the same size home. It was like the same builder, I think. So my niece and nephew are right across the way now. They closed on the house, I think it's like a week and a half ago, but they still had some work that they had to get done on it. So they're actually living here. So the house is very full right now. We have a full house. It's been really fun, but it's been busy. So it's been hard to step away or film or anything. Plus it's chaotic in the house. So I thought I would pop out and just share an updated garden tour because there is a lot going on in our summer garden, and it's been fun this year. We have a lot of things that we didn't have in the past, which has been awesome. So I'm gonna start in the herb garden. For me and our family, we like to use the herb garden for drying the herbs, for also using them fresh in our meals, and then also for teas, for tinctures, and because I like to experiment in the herbal remedy world. This year I'm actually growing echinacea for the first time. I didn't have luck in the past with echinacea, but I have this year and I'm very excited. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm gonna be clipping that pretty soon, hanging it upside down, drying it, and storing it echinacea tea for the fall. Also, I'm growing a lot of mint, a lot of lemon balm, and then I accidentally grew some stinging nettle, which I found out it was stinging nettle because A, it looks like stinging nettle, and B, it stung me when I was touching it. We also have a lot of our cooking, sage, thyme, oregano, rosemary. All of that's really great. Basil, because we use that in everything that we cook. And in the big garden, we are growing a lot this year. Tomatoes, we had a ton of tomatoes. So because we have such a big tomato harvest, canning was something that I started getting into last year, but we both are diving into it. Byron has a really good general understanding of preserving because of his, work as a chef. I was not as familiar with canning. So I have been kind of studying the Ball canning book. It's a preserving book. You can find it for like $10 on Amazon. It's a great resource if you want to can. Whether you just have a garden or you're homesteading, when you have an abundance of a harvest, you don't want any of that to go to waste. You might not want to eat one thing all at once. So maybe if you can preserve it and save it for later. One thing that's really exciting is you just get a lot at one time. And so figuring out how that will not go to waste. So we have an apple tree that had a lot of apples this year. We had to pick them early because the birds were getting to them, and we didn't get a chance to net properly this year, which we will next year, so that they can grow even bigger. So we did harvest those while they're a little small, but still really sweet. And we made a big batch of apple butter and canned it. So that could be fun gifts to give away, but also, if you do it properly and you follow the proper preservation protocol, you can save it for a long time. Also in our big garden, we are growing tomatoes. We've got some squash, which we have every year, but we also have eggplant this year. So eggplant parmesan happening. We have cantaloupe, watermelons coming, corn, all of that great end of the summer goodness going into the fall, although we don't really get a proper fall around here in California. I so wish that we did, and I'd love to experience a proper fall one day and a proper gardening season, because it's all sort of out of whack here in California, but we enjoy a lot of warm and very hot weather. So the flies are out today. What else? Oh, we had our berries and grapes, and our pomegranates are growing, our pomegranate trees. But I'm gonna take you into the garden. Ooh, our lemons. I'm gonna take you around and sort of show you what we have. So yeah, let's go. So this is my citronella that I really like to grow mostly for drying and putting in the chicken coop and the goat pen to help prevent flies in the summer. So you can just clip it. Once it's dry, it'll sort of fall apart there. And then you can sprinkle it in the chicken coop, you can sprinkle it in the goat pen, and also peppermint and mint, which grow, and they grow very fast and out of control. If you have extra clippings, definitely use it. Just sort of also, if they want to eat it too, they can eat it. But it also makes the coop and the pen smell. We grow 2 varieties of lavender, English and French. So this I have in the herb garden here, and I love to dry this and use this around the house. It just, you know, there's a lot of different things you can do with it. I've done a few DIYs before on my channel in terms of skincare and around the house. And also it's another one that you can use in coops or pens just to make it smell lovely. It also is great as a gift, like to add into a bouquet. So there's a lot of different uses for lavender, and it's a great one to have. So we have our citrus trees here and nectarine, but our apple tree produced. So you can see here and over there what happens with these, which is such a bummer. So you can see why next year we will have to net, and we picked them a little early just to make sure they didn't all get eaten. Our fig tree was doing a little rough this spring, so we think we were possibly overwatering it. So we gave it a little bit of a rest with how much water we were giving it, adjusted the water, and they're coming back to life and they look really good. We love the figs. Also, when we have an abundance of figs, we can make fig jam or fig Newtons. We have tiger figs and Cadota figs, so we grow 2 different varieties of fig trees. We have 2 olive trees. We do have olives, they're pretty bitter, so there is a process to get these tasting decent, but we've done it before and they tasted really good. So we're excited for these to mature even more. We have several pomegranate trees on the property that we planted, and lots of pomegranates that come this time of the year. Over here in this corner of the garden, we have our lemon tree. When we went camping, this one was a little rough when we got back, but it's coming back. Looking okay here. There's a few lemons coming. We have the berry bushes. This has gone absolutely crazy. I need to come and clean this up a little bit, just sort of come and take any of the dry leaves off. My neighbor's goats are screaming. They're hungry. But yeah, I could clip this back a little bit. We don't have berries right now. We're past berries. So we did have the blackberries, and then there's another pomegranate tree. And then over here, so we did have grapes, but they are getting eaten by my kids, by animals. So there's just a few left. I have this little kumquat tree here, which we do get, but we don't have any right now. And then we have a raspberry bush right over here, which I also need to come and clip and clean up a little bit here. And also the leaves can be used for tea. These are great little harvest baskets I found out about through a channel I love. called Cosmopolitan Cornbread. She's one of my favorites. And these are, right now, they're buy one, get one 50% off at Tractor Supply, but they're about $8. I love these because you can harvest and then bring it in and just stick it right under the sink and wash everything. So let's go check out the big garden here. Take my harvest basket with me. So I love the corn. It's not quite ready yet, but it's getting there. And look at these. Now this was sort of an accident. Nobody really planted these, but we had a big one of these gifted to us from a fellow family member gardener who lives in Virginia, and they brought us a blue Hubbard. So somehow the seeds got into the garden, and look at these. And I know Trader Joe's sells these during the fall and calls them zombie pumpkins, but they're blue Hubbards, and they are so funky and cool. And these will last. I mean, the squash and the pumpkins, they last a long time. So if I pick them usually in September, they last sometimes until February. So I think these should be good, and I can have them for the fall. But we've got some squash. One of my favorite sounds is the corn husk blowing in the wind. And it's not doing that right now because it's pretty still, but I absolutely love that sound. It's just so peaceful. Over here we have some cantaloupe. We actually put them in nets because they were getting eaten by these little roly-poly pill bugs. So we don't want our cantaloupes to be eaten by the pill bugs. So we did put nets underneath them and around them. We have to get bigger nets because we accidentally got small ones. But aren't these fun? These are sort of like fairy tale cantaloupes. Aren't these beautiful? So we've got a bunch of those over here. We have lots of squash, always lots of squash. How pretty is this? I just love these. We have two varieties of eggplant that we're growing as well. Japanese and Italian eggplant here. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. This went a little crazy over here. This was the celery. I did clean this up a few days ago, but I need to clean it up a little bit more. We also have some more cantaloupe, some watermelon that will be coming pretty soon. I think you could probably see that here. Last year we had watermelons coming out of our ears, and everybody loved the watermelon. We made watermelon juice and gave it away to friends and family. We shared with the animals. We ate watermelon every day. Got some more cantaloupe. Got some more corn over here. We have strawberries and tomatoes over here. Now our tomatoes are kind of a mess this year, so do not judge us. We did not put the lattice up, and therefore they're sort of crawling all over the ground rather than growing up the way that they should. So do not follow our example when it comes to tomatoes. Look at the corn. But we have a lot of tomatoes, and they're sort of everywhere. I'm gonna have to go to Tractor Supply or Lowe's and just help with fixing this, getting the lattice up, and then training the tomatoes to grow up. These ones did pretty good. We love these. The kids love to come over and just grab and enjoy. So we've been coming out almost every day to get a bowl of tomatoes. Diced tomatoes, marinara, enchilada sauce, all things we can use. We love tomatoes. Over here is a little crazy. We have our rainbow Swiss chard there. It's kind of all up in the acorn squash. We do have some potatoes, which of course are growing in the ground there. And then, I don't know, we don't really have any more strawberries left. Any of the strawberries we do have left are sort of coming to the end there. They're looking a little dry. We did have those early summer. There's one. These don't get very big. They're tiny, tiny little guys. Not like the strawberries you see in the store, but so sweet like candy. We just harvested these. We have a lot of peppers. So we already did some canning of our jalapenos and serrano. So it's looking good, that one. There is a lot going on here. And we always love our end of summer, beginning of fall harvest. One of our newer projects is our orchard here, which we just planted this year. So lots of trees, and hopefully as these grow, it will just sort of make this very bare area look nice and lush, and we'll have lots of fruit. Over here we have Berry Hill. 3 different layers of berries: blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Again, planted just this year. And we have fence posts in to get pasture going for goats, which we are behind on this project this year, just because a lot has been happening in the family, but that's something we definitely want to get done so that the goats can pasture along the hill and coming down. Look at that big compost, or mulch rather, mulch pile. So you know what I need to do today is the not so pretty stuff, which is weed whack all of this. Move that, but look at all this needs to be weed whacked and can roll up. There's always some sort of mess to clean. So coming into the front yard, which is where we grow more lavender and also some flowers. You can hear my neighbors getting some work done this morning. So lots of lavender. We had a few very hot days. So the blooms that we had, the Eden roses, they died, but the plant did not die. It's still looking really, really good. So we'll have some more blooms hopefully soon. Also last year around this time, we planted all of the climbing roses along our fence. And they are doing so well. We're so pleased with how they're doing.